It's time for a Siskel and Ebert Burt Reynolds shitty film review.
Coming up next at the movies, not one, but two lousy films starring our bad actor of the year, Burt Reynolds. Now, when critics walk into a movie, they're always supposed to be optimistic because it's true, you never know when you're going to be pleasantly surprised. That's the theory, at least. But then there are pictures like Cannonball Run 2, which blow that theory to bits. You know it's going to be bad when you walk in, and they turn out to be even worse. For example, this cross-country car race picture didn't even have a cross-country car race in it. It was done in an animated cartoon at the end. What a cheat for all of its fans. And of course, there were plenty of fights and explosions involving Burt Reynolds and his regular sidekick, his Ed McMahon, Dom DeLuise.
JJ, long time no see.
Nice to see you, Captain K.
Boy, they drag that scene out, and also that little, it's sort of sick, that little shot where the plane whips around after the bomb goes through the tail. Why would that make the plane start up and spin around like a top?
Because the special effects guys had it all rigged to do that. The problem with a movie like this is you're sitting there watching each special effects gag and realizing that it's just technology. It has nothing to do with the story or with comedy.
You're right. Seeing a guy as a human bomb, if you think about it, can be pretty amazing. At the circus, you know, kids really get excited about that. But here, director Hal Needham makes it just look dull at the end, just like the rest of Cannonball Run 2.
It's a real bad movie, and you know, it's really sad to me what Burt Reynolds is doing with his career. Here's a guy with talent who's been in some good pictures.
Sure.
They talk about how hard it is for a TV star to become a legitimate movie star. He did it. Now he seems to be trying to turn himself back into a TV star again.
Right.
The level of intelligence in a movie like this is barely good enough to sustain just filler on television. To expect anyone to spend $5 for this garbage is amazing.
And you know, when people go after critics like us for knocking a big star like Burt Reynolds, they always say, yeah, but people love him. Well, I got news for you. In Stroke or Ace, a horrible film he made, and in Cannonball Run 2, people did not love him. His fans did not go to see this film. They knew it was a skunk from the word go, and the films were absolute bombs. So for his own fans, I ask him to try and do something different.
It's too bad Woody Allen already took the perfect title for Burt Reynolds. Take the money and run. Now let's move on to another stinker of the year, also starring Burt Reynolds and Clint Eastwood, two of the biggest stars in Hollywood, in an incomprehensible mess named City Heat. Now, if you read Time magazine, you will go to see City Heat and you won't go to see Cotton Club.
Yeah, well, that's a good reason to subscribe to Newsweek.
I think it certainly is. Reynolds and Eastwood are taking the blame for this turkey, but the fact is they play themselves pretty well in this film, and that's all they're really asked to do. The real villain is the screenplay, which gives us lame and awkward scenes like this one.
40, I raise you, Bonnie, all the time. What the? What are you doing? Take a walk when you're in the wrong room.
Well, it's about time.
Somehow I don't think you're going to see that scene in That's Entertainment 3.
How about Madeline Kahn in that scene? That voice is really getting aggravating after a while.
I don't think she was given anything to do in this film except, you know, this film borrows. This is one of those, go next door, instead of a cup of sugar, give me the character you played in your last 3 films. We'll put it in here and put our names on it, and that'll be our film. A lot of people have complained about the violence in City Heat, but it wasn't the level of violence that bothered me, it was the frequency of the violence. You may have noticed some of it in that scene. City Heat is a movie that seems utterly bankrupt of ideas, and to cover up that fact, and very badly covered up, I might add, it relies on a big fight scene every 10 minutes or so, and since the fights are not well choreographed, and it never makes any difference at all how they end, this turns out to be a real bad idea and a real bad movie.
Sure, they could stop this film at any time, and you'd say, okay, I've got enough. They gave me 90 minutes of Clint Eastwood and Burt Reynolds trading lines. I felt sorry for Clint Eastwood, who at least took an approach to this film. He was going to caricature all of his roles. In other words, when he squints in Dirty Harry, now he really squints and trembles. That's an approach. That's an artist making a statement of some kind. Burt Reynolds is, again, I hate to keep using it, he's like he's on the Johnny Carson show, walking on. There's nothing going on here. He's just Burt Reynolds talking, walking through the picture like Sylvester Stallone walks through Rhinestone. And that's not, and he's not trying now.
He's well known in his dinner playhouse appearances for kind of having a rapport with the people in the first 3 rows of the audience. I got news for him in the movies, but you don't want to meet the people who sit in the first 3 rows. You should remember that.
When the word gets out about this picture, there won't be anybody in the first 30 rows of the theater.
And that's the end of this Siskel and Ebert Burt Reynolds shitty film review. Don't forget to like and subscribe to get notified about new videos and original Burt Reynolds content right here on the Gator McKLUSKY channel.